All right, kick fucking ass. It's There Will Be Duds again, guys. I'm your co-host, J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me, as always,
Hi, I'm Nick, also known as Dr. Funk on Twitch.
I'm the Super General. Sorry.
And our special guest for today.
special guest,
Talk this way.
Moose.
I'm Isaiah.
You don't have to look directly at the camera. Like, none of us look directly at the camera.
Oh, this is great.
Then you can get a good profile of the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this week we all watched a movie, but Foist. I wanted to mention a couple things. First is the show is now officially a podcast on Spotify, iTunes, a lot of other
Google
podcasts.
Yeah, it's on like 7 platforms, I think we're at now.
Yeah. So that episodes are a few weeks back from the streams, but I'll try like mentioning this at the end of every episode now, like doing a plug.
I might be wrong in saying this, but I'm pretty sure 7 platforms is the most like any podcast has ever been on. I think we broke the record for that.
We do in fact hold the record for that now, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Do we count? If we count Twitch, it's 8. So
That's
yeah,
true.
right.
That's true.
Are you guys on OnlyFans yet?
No, Travis McElroy won't let us yet.
Oh no.
But yeah, so check that out. The episodes in there drop on Mondays. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, we stream this on Twitch every Friday at 7. So, yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, since we were talking about it, or it was sort of brought up last time, I did go through and I made a spreadsheet of all of the movies
Yeah.
in the cups.
Okay.
Because we were wondering it's kind of an even, it's like the same amount in the good and bad cup, like percentage wise. In the good cup, there's 141 movies total, and 119 of them are mine. In the bad cup, there's 22, and 18 of them are mine. So it's,
Oh my
it's about,
God.
like, it's roughly like 85% of the movies in both are mine. So there you go.
I'm just gonna take a picture of my entire collection and be like, here.
I didn't count ones because there's definitely overlap between some of our suggestions.
Sure.
But like, I just wrote them down as because I put them in first, I guess. So I still count them as mine. So that's not to say that there's not more, but like, I don't know. That's roughly the idea. I just wanted to touch on that since there was an ask, and I did this as an easy way so I can just pull this up and be like, oh, this movie is on these platforms.
Yeah.
So I don't have to like guess every time. So those are just the points I wanted to make. Did anybody see anything they wanted to talk about?
I have. Hold on. I came up with a bit when I got out of the shower, and I supremely hate myself for it.
It looked like you were about to do it looks like you're doing Chocolate Rain right now, just because you were like, I came up with a bit.
I step away to breathe in.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it "I Want to Believe," and this is a show within a show where I talk about the X-Files, because that's the only show I have the attention span to watch anymore, and that's what I'm.
Okay.
I told you I hated myself for it.
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. We're halfway through season 3, and man, I don't know how you guys watch TV shows. My girlfriend cannot stand.
Usually with my eyes and my ears.
Because like I don't like, if I have strong feelings for a character, that's very, very rare. Like, I try to understand, like when I'm watching shows, like I try to understand, like, oh, this is why they think that way, or this is why like they do the things that they do. My girlfriend hates Scully. Hates her. And it's always funny watching this show with her now, because it's just like it's at that point in season 3 where it's like you can kind of tell. I did a little bit of like Wikipedia free falling, and David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson apparently in like later seasons of the X-Files could not stand each other, like professionally, and it's like I feel like it's starting to come through in the show now. I also didn't realize that there's like they call it the myth arc, which it's like basically all of the episodes that aren't Monster of the Week that are like the main storyline of like the government covering up aliens.
Okay. Yeah,
And there's like, man, some of those shows back in the day that had like 25 episode seasons, there's like maybe 4 episodes per season that are like that storyline.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know. It's I don't want to say it's a bummer, but it's just like high highs and low lows when you go from like no bummers. Okay.
Yeah.
When it goes from like, oh my God, the smoking man just had someone killed and Mulder was so close. And then it's just like, and now they're in a vampire colony. And you're like, what? But I was just getting invested. But anyway, I still really like the show. And that thus concludes I Want to Believe Squad.
I guess it's just a matter of time before I thought of this. Is it gonna be dark enough?
What do you
Oh, fuck it. I'll just go grab it.
I'm
just gonna show off something.
Oh, okay.
He comes back nude.
Yeah, he just went like this. I'm thinking like,
Yeah,
yeah, it looks pretty big right there.
You mentioned him, so I had to. I had to show off a little bit because I don't know if you.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What? That's so cool.
2017, 2016, me and Kalia went, and we got a picture with him too.
Where was that? Was that at
Motor City?
Oh my God,
And,
that's so cool.
And there was absolutely like no line for him.
That
Like it was kind of sad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a listening audience, that was a signed picture of the smoking man from the X-Files.
Yeah.
Man, I would probably fangirl if I met Skinner. I think he might be my favorite character in the X-Files. I love that dude.
Yeah, I like Skinner a lot too.
I think the only thing that I actually know about that show is the trading cards that TJ like used to have,
Yeah,
and they used
Yeah,
to
the
scare
X-Files
me. So
trading-
I was like, I don't want to watch this.
those are nearby too. Because I ended up when I was cleaning out all my stuff at the house, I like grabbed those and ended up giving them to Kalia. So those are around here, but I'll just go through the whole stack. Just
Yeah. I got a holographic Mulder.
I guess this was a documentary week for me because not only did I watch American Movie, but I also watched Bruno for the first time, the Sacha Baron Cohen.
Is that a
Borat?
Is that a
documentary?
documentary?
I mean, it's like how much Borat is a documentary.
Oh, okay.
So half.
Yeah.
Half. And then I also watched Feels Good Man, the
Oh.
documentary about Pepe the Frog.
Yeah.
I have to say, both of them were pretty great. I think I like Bruno more than either of the Borat movies. I was
interesting.
really surprised, especially because at first it seems really like, haha, gay jokes.
Yeah.
But like Borat, it's like, you know, it's making fun of the people who, like, it's not the jokes aren't about that. It's making fun of the gay panic around it. And I also thought like the story in it was pretty sweet. And then Feels Good Man, I didn't think I would ever like feel so strongly, so like sad for Pepe the Frog, because it's kind of a bummer, the whole like journey of it, and like the creator, because it follows him in like his legal battle and trying to like basically take it back from the alt-right.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because I watched that documentary when it came out a few months ago. And yeah, that was like a big, I felt so bad when he showed his huge garage full of like
of all the shirts.
of like Pepe the Frog shirts and merch, and it's just like, well, I
And they
can't
can't
sell
sell it.
these.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's like it's on like the Anti-Defamation League. It's like considered a hate symbol, and he's
Yep.
like tried to like talk to them about it, be like, hey, I made this character and it's not, and they're like, yeah, okay, anyway, it's still a hate symbol. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the creator was like really like, he just seems like such a cool dude too. Like he was really fun to watch. He was a good subject. He actually reminded me a lot of Toby from The Office, except instead of like
yeah.
his chillness just being like boring and bland, he just was like really like he had the same energy as Toby, but he was just really likable in a way. Like but yeah, both good docs. I just wanted to shout those out. That's what I've been watching. Well, since we're trying to trim them down a little bit, does anyone else have anything, or do we want to get into the movie?
Just real quick, I watched episodes 3 and 4 of Invincible, and it's not. You made it sound like it was the first book, and that's it. And it's like I read the first 4 or 5 books, and there's stuff that happens that's not even in those books at all, not even close.
Well,
That's it.
yeah, I think there's stuff that just doesn't happen in the books that's in the show.
There's a lot of
And
that.
It's been a while since I read the books. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because it's.
I
like,
wasn't speaking with confidence.
I watched the first 3 episodes of The Boys, and it was pretty good. It's kind of the same feeling that I have towards the comics, how it's like a little bit, maybe not confusing is the right word, but just kind of like, I feel like they have, I don't know. It seems like sometimes they like are talking about something and it doesn't go anywhere, but I do like it so far, except episode 3 ends with Popclaw like crushing her landlord's head like as he's like eating her out. And my dad was in the room, and he was just like, when the episode finished, he was like, "That's a weird show you're watching, boy."
That's super relevant because of the Batman. Does like Batman eat Catwoman out? Like that's like been a big thing lately.
Yeah.
But by the way, Isaiah, next time we meet, I got the next 3.
I was letting Travis read the first one, so
Yeah, I've read.
But-
Cool.
I've read the
Yes,
first
you
page.
didn't,
Oh, sorry, I'm not good enough.
You're the first page.
Oh, yeah. Like, the book was, like, the first, like, few issues were really good. And then, like, the middle part was Then the end with the, like, love sausage dude.
Yeah.
That was, like, the ending was really good to that first book.
Well, now that we've squandered our perfect segue, here's a new one.
Just churn them out.
So now we're going to talk about the movie.
There it is.
We all watched a documentary from 1999 called American Movie, directed by Chris Smith. It follows Mark Borchardt, a small-time filmmaker, I guess, from Wisconsin, as he tries to finish an abandoned short film that he had started years ago. It chronicles him filming that and completing it in order to fund his future first film. And yeah, it just kind of, oh damn it, I messed up my joke. I was gonna say we all watched a movie this week called Behind the Scenes of Marvel's The Avengers Trinity War, or as it's known by its original title, American Movie. So if anyone's seen that movie, it's a lot like Trinity War.
In in the sense of like you or Kevin King.
I just got like, I mean, it was mostly just like, oh, it's a documentary about the making of a movie, and it's like, it's, you know, plagued by all these issues, and also the director writer guy is kind of an asshole, like that kind of.
Isn't he like autistic too?
I don't know.
He might be.
Oh, he was just saying that I am.
The Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see what's going on here. Okay.
Well, no, but actually, isn't he like, doesn't he have something wrong with him?
No.
The Mike guy
I don't
does.
think so.
No, Mike's just baked.
I think they're just stoners.
I think
pretty sure he's just.
I think the only disability they have is being from Wisconsin. Like that's
Yeah, that's what I.
they're just Wisconsin guys.
But at the beginning of the movie, his mom says something about like how he was sent to like a special school or he was in a special class
he was
or something.
He was good at like he was
It was
smart.
like the gifted program.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought gifted as in like
Which
okay.
gifted does kind of sound like, oh yeah, no, you're special. Like it does kind of
Yeah.
I see
sounds
what
like
you
it has
mean,
that
yeah.
connotation to it.
My favorite line of the movie is right at the beginning where he's like opening all these bills and he's like, yeah, you already did it. You already spoiled it. You just do the intros and you spoil all the good shit so nobody else can use it. But anyways, that is my favorite line where he's like,
what was the line?
He's opening up a bunch of mail and it's like, oh, this one's from the IRS. I owe them $80. That's not a big deal. And then he's opening like a phone bill and shit. And then he's like, you've received your new. Oh, kick fucking ass! I got a MasterCard. And then it cuts to the title, and then he goes, "Life's pretty cool sometimes, man."
Yeah. Yeah.
that part, it was so good. It sets up the whole movie like really well.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing. That was the moment where I was like, "All right, I'm in."
Yeah, no, my first note is I love this dude. That's my first note.
I wrote down that on like the American Film Institute's like 100 years, 100 movies, like their best quotes list, like next to "Here's looking at you, kid," and "Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown." They need to have "Kick fucking ass, I got a MasterCard."
What's more American than that?
Yeah. It really, like, literally, what is more American than that? He's listing off all of these bills that he can't pay. Oh, kick fucking ass! I got a MasterCard.
Yeah.
It's like perfect. Kind of to go along with your other Wisconsin diss, I also wrote down, how is Wisconsin part of this country? Like it seems like a foreign land to me. It is kind of more like Canadian than it is American. It seems like
it's like the Estonia or Ukraine of the US.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he even says in the movie, he's like, at one point, he's like, now we're in America now. And I thought that, I honestly thought, like, at the beginning, I was like, wait, are they from Canada? And then,
kind of.
because they were like, oh, now we're shooting in America. But.
Yeah, they easily could be Canadian transplants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're watching the movie Coven. Like,
yeah.
Coven.
How else would you pronounce it? Coven? No, man, that sounds like oven.
yeah.
He was so close to like a Simpson, like a parody. It's like he's like a parody of himself almost, but like a surfer dude. Yeah,
like characters from Fargo.
He's like a Midwestern surfer, but like they don't have waves, so he's just like, "Hey, man."
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Mike's his partner, right? Yeah. I wrote down for him that he's not a surfer dude. He's Brandon Dassey is what he is from Making a Murder. He's like very similar.
Yeah, both from the same state.
Same area, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just picturing like Mark, and I'm also picturing just like Mike and Jay and Rich from like Red Letter Media, all just kind of being in the same area. Like,
yeah, those guys too.
There's two different types of Wisconsin guys you can be, and like there's those guys, and then there's like the Red Letter Media guys.
Yeah, there's people that live like in a 1 mile radius from like the center of Green Bay or like Madison, and then everywhere else is Mike and Mark, like just
yeah.
Completely different language.
How many marks per capita are there?
Yeah.
I another quote that like stuck out to me early on was when he was talking about getting like a certain particular shot during the magic hour, which is just kind of funny since they're filming it in black and white, like, it doesn't really matter much. I don't know, like, I just that one just kind of
still lighting.
I got
still
down
lighting, yeah, but
when they're like shooting something, and Mark says it's 11:30. We got to have 52 shots by 6, and then he just starts like chugging a beer like immediately. that was like the hardest I laughed in the whole movie.
there's a lot of like the little interview things like that also made me think of Avengers, like your bit where it's like it's 4 a.m. we gotta get up so early, and then we film for a half an hour, and then we're just done for the day. Like, so it's like shit like that.
Yeah, they are like very similar in like subject matter and characters.
I was gonna say, well, like I guess this is, I'm gonna open up the door to us, like, you know, sucking our own dicks, because that's what we like doing on this podcast. But like, I really like resonated with the whole like gotta get this, we gotta make a movie, and we gotta like the sort of like earnestness that like Mark had was just like I don't know how anyone could hate that dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like the whole idea of like, no matter what, you know, he has a vision, we got to get it done. And it's just like, I don't know. I can relate to that in like projects that we've done before for like film festivals and like movies and shit.
So drawing the through line, or the side by side comparison between Avengers and American movie, who do you think your character is? Because I would say that Nick is Uncle Bill, obviously.
I was kind of thinking that. I mean, I would be Mark.
You would be Mark.
Like,
Isaiah,
not only just because he's the director, but like the whole kind of a.
I think Isaiah would be the one actor guy.
The I'm putting my coat back on.
Yes.
It's too cold.
Yes.
That guy.
What? With the scarf. He's like, can you take the scarf off? And he's like, I will do this. He's like,
yeah.
No, I'd say it's like, no, it's your character from Avengers, like the British kid.
Your character.
Oh, you're saying? I thought you were saying like me personally. I was like, what?
And then
yeah, but then he heard me comparing myself to Mark, and he was like, yeah. He thought I was talking about me.
And then I guess you guys might have to help me out with mine, but it's hard to, you know, self reflection is pretty hard because you can't really see yourself from out even. I'm just kidding. It's a character. I would say maybe the mom, because there's like this scene where she's filming him and he's like, "Are you rolling? Don't take your finger off it." And she's like, she can't frame it like at all, and she's like, "It's too. Oh, I know. It's too low."
Frame now.
Yeah.
You could also be like his son when he was like pressing the camera and then he released. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Somebody would have to be Mike, but I don't know who exactly.
Maybe Dagan.
Maybe Dex. Maybe Dagan.
Yeah.
Connor.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Connor. Yeah. I was gonna mention. Did any of you guys watch Coven?
No, I looked for it for a little bit. Couldn't find it.
I did, and I thought, because I wanted to mention that scene where she was getting that shot of where his mom was getting that shot of him, and he was like too low, and they had to do it a bunch of times. Like I feel like in American movie I can't tell if at the end of the movie if it's supposed to be like a joke, like, oh, because they show like clips of it, they show like certain shots from Coven, and they're like, I can't tell if the documentary is saying it's bad, see, this movie's bad, or if it's, because genuinely, like, seeing the shots, like the opening credits bit, I was like, those are some cool shots.
Yeah.
I think
it was very like Camp Lynchy.
Yeah, it's like it shows its influences for sure. Like there's a lot of like the like gory parts, very like Night of the Living Dead, George Romero,
which he specifically references.
Stuff. Yeah. That's why I thought of it, because there were shots that like looked exactly like an old Romero. But anyways, that scene in particular, the way the documentary shows it is like, oh, look at how bad it is. He's not even in frame, like look at how bad everybody is at acting. Oh, look at Bill, he can't get his line down and whatever. And like it's not perfect by any means, but like for what it is, I thought it was pretty good. And that scene, that reaction shot that his mom was shooting, it's edited in a way to where like you don't even really notice that. It's really quick, but like they fixed it. Like he fixed it in the editing. It's pretty decent.
I mean, I literally just finished it like 30 minutes before we got in this call, but I didn't get the impression like that at the end when they actually were at the premiere and like they showed the scenes from it. I didn't get the impression that the documentary wanted you to think it was bad, because like
I didn't either. I just like, wasn't sure.
I mean, I even took note. Like I watched it and I was like, the movie doesn't look. The whole, because I think the whole movie is like Mark is a smart guy around people that like don't. I don't want to say that they're stupid or like they're not smart also, but like he's very clear. It. Yeah, they're
they do. I think they do.
In their limited capacity.
Yeah, they're just like his parents are just like. He's not gonna be anything.
I know what you're saying. They're just not. I don't think they're as invested as he is.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not movie people. They're just doing it because they want to help him, but not because they.
In their mind, it's like, why aren't you just being like a truck driver or work at a factory or do like what everyone else in the family did, right? But like, I think throughout the whole movie, almost like Tiger, not Tiger King. Scratch that. That's bad. Because I feel like throughout the whole movie, you're hanging out with Mark, and the way he carries himself and speaks, it's like this larger than life character in the context of Wisconsin. But it's like he's like this bit, and it's like he's smart and he's competent. Like the way that he acts, like in the documentary, is kind of silly sometimes, and like his little turns of phrase that he has. But at the very end, when they're actually showing clips from the movie, I was like, that looks not bad. That doesn't look bad. Like because like I think at the very beginning when they're out in the field with the scarecrows, and he's like no, it's gotta be leaning this way, and you kind of laugh at him for like being like anal retentive about it.
Do you get it? No.
But then you look at the end of the movie, you see that shot with the scarecrows. Yeah. And it looks good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, that's like creepy and unsettling. Like he nailed the vibe of how that scene was supposed to look.
That was the exact shot that like when I first was. There were other shots in that opening bit that were cool, but that scarecrow shot, I was like, wow, that's like really visually like interesting and impressive, like really cool. And also the black and white, I think, like helps like that low budget horror vibe. It really works for it, and I think it looks a lot better than if they had tried to
absolutely would look like shit.
Yeah. And like to draw more parallels to Trinity War, it really kind of felt like a spoof the whole time. And then at the end, it's like, oh, like they had like nothing. They were working with scraps, not like real actors, and they made something that's like actually good. So that's kind of how I felt towards it. It was like,
I don't think when I was watching it,
also very Avengers-y.
That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
I felt like the people who made the documentary, it almost like they got very lucky with their subject matter. With this, I should just say subject, but they didn't really. I didn't feel any influence or any push or pull one way or the other. Like they were very neutral. They seemed like they. Yeah. That's why I'm saying it seemed like they got lucky, because it seemed like they just hit record and then they just cut stuff together, like the interesting stuff, and then at the end they're like, "Well, we got to show clips from the movie," because like I'm sure Mark was even like, "Hey, can you put some clips from it in there?" And but they would have done it anyways. It just seemed like as far as like a documentary like standpoint, I thought it was just like very basic. Like the presentation of it was very basic. Sure. So yeah, I didn't feel pushed either way to think it was like funny or not.
There were times where it felt like a legitimate spoof though. Like the cabinet part where he just slamming his head over and over.
My God.
It's like, made me like, fuck.
I like jumped like back because
Yeah.
and then they do it again and it still doesn't break.
Yeah. Kelly at
So
one
bad for
point.
that dude.
Kelly at one point she asked like, "Is this supposed to be a mockumentary?" And I was like, "No, it's a documentary, but these people kind of make it. I mean, it is you kind of are.
It kind of
mocking them
blurs
as
the
you watch
lines.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many interactions between just like the main Mark and Mike. It's just like I mean, you wouldn't have to show anything else but those two dudes, and it's just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Mike? I don't know.
I like the,
Yeah, he's like,
I like,
he's like, what do you got on your mind? What aren't you telling us? And then it goes to talking to camera with Mike, and he's like, yeah, I won $50. I was so excited.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to tell anybody because I don't want them to ask me for money.
Yeah.
yeah. I like the he's like isn't this really cathartic for you, Mike? And he's like, yeah. Do you know what cathartic means? No.
No. Yeah.
It means like releasing something. Oh yeah, cathartic. Yeah, definitely cathartic.
And you mentioned like his turn of phrase too. It's like he had some really good like.
Yeah, I wish I would have written.
It's like he did really have some good ones. Like the one where they're talking about like the cross or something, and somebody's like, well, it's unnatural, like, to use it in the movie. They're like, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, why? And they're like, because it's unnatural. And then he's like, well, what did you think when Jesus was hanging up there? Did he think that was natural?
Yeah.
It's good. It's really, like, clever. And then that thing about, like, it's like, I just stared down at that pile of shit for, like, 10 seconds. And I was like, I'm 30 years old, man. And in a few minutes, I'm going to be cleaning up someone else's shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very like it's like Midwestern profoundness. Like
yeah. Kind of like it gave me like Catfish vibes, like that final monologue in Catfish where the guy like talks about what a catfish is or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's yeah, that same sort of like philosophy, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could turn that stuff, and like I can see why people kind of rallied around him because he was very like, it's like he's almost like Jeff Winger from Community, where it stuff starts to fall apart, and then he has this like inspirational speech, and like everyone's like, okay, yeah, I'll help him out. We got to help him out. We got to get this movie done, and yeah. I can see why people work.
That was like such a big part of it was just like they were talking about like his like he could basically talk the pants off anybody. Could he get stuff done was besides the point. Mm-hmm. But you know, like he wants to get money from his uncle, and all he does is show him like a picture of like a couple babes that are going to be in the movie, and he's like, oh, okay. And then the uncle stuff kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, it was really depressing.
Like, there's a weird like line that he was flirting with. They don't show it really. You can't. I mean, they show it, but they don't show everything. It flirted with being like exploitative, like if he was like taking advantage of his uncle. But then it shows him like,
oh, you mean
bathing his uncle?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, is he just doing that to like, you know,
well,
because he kind of talks him into it. The guy seems like borderline like senile at some point.
It's something because of how hard it was for him to get out that line.
Yeah.
And
but
stuff,
also
like,
it's hard for me to also think that it could be exploitative when he got like $3,000 from his uncle, and then they're like, how much do you think you have in the bank? And he's like, oh, 280,000 or so.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
why are you living in a trailer then? Like, why are you
well,
what?
It's Wisconsin, bro.
yeah.
I think
it's like that. It's like that Midwestern like suffering in silence kind of shit. I think that's just like instilled in people.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of goes back to the East of Eden discussion, the screaming part, where it's like even if he only scammed $10 out of it, it doesn't like if the guy has $10 million and he scammed $10 out of him. He still scammed him. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you don't
yeah,
feel
yeah,
as
yeah.
bad.
Did he-
you don't feel
did he
as
scam
bad,
him,
but
though?
like that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really show exactly. I mean, I'm sure he was gonna pay him back, and it's like, well, is he only being nice to him and like coming over and talking to him because like he actually cares, or is he doing it because he gave him money so he feels like he owes him, which that's another thing, or you know,
I think
It's
the
just-
only
borderline.
I think the only reason that I like even for a second thought that he might be scamming him was just because of the fact that like every time it showed him talking about his movie and his vision, he kind of did it like a used car salesman.
Yeah,
And that's like kind of how he did it with his uncle too. It's just like, you're gonna see your name on the screen, executive
Yep.
producer, and and it's like he buttered up everyone that he talked to about this movie. He did like mean it. Like he
Yeah.
definitely intended
Yeah.
for all of those things to happen. I don't think he was like lying per se, but
No.
it was just like
But
the
yeah,
way
he
that he
was-
carried himself. You're like, okay, you kind of sound like a bullshit artist too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
He would say shit like
You'd say
it was
anything
actually
to get
like
funding.
yeah he like there's the scene where they coming back from the bank and he's with his dad and Bill and he's like really pushing him there and that's another part that's like pretty sad with Bill is he just kept pressing him like, oh, you're gonna live in Hollywood, man, you're gonna be a big Hollywood producer, which Bill did not have the capabilities to handle that, but
Yeah.
I mean,
he's like really pushing that, and then he's like, "What are your dreams, Bill? What are your dreams?
Yeah, what are you gonna do
want
with your life?"
What do you want people to think of you when you're gone?" And he's like, "I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna hang out." Like, essentially, he's just like, "I don't have any plans.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna sit in this chair, sit on my porch."
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess maybe that was his thing. Like, he saw Bill
Giving up.
kind of just like whatever, I'm just gonna die, and he was like trying to kickstart him.
That's how I felt. I felt it was more of like he was trying to like push him to like liven up because like you can see through the movie it's only like 2 years or something that the documentary covers, like if that.
it's
2
like-
to 3 years.
it starts
Yeah.
in 94 and it ends in 97.
And you can see over that time like Bill like deteriorating, and it's like like he's getting like he gets out of the car for the premiere and he literally like almost falls over,
Yeah.
and it's like yeah, it's just kind of crazy how it's like. That's why I don't think he was like manipulating him. I think he was just trying to push him to like liven up and maybe
I mean, that's the
Well, it's
energy that he seemed to like put into the entire community. So I
Because I don't know. Because it's like he wanted people to want better things or to like
yeah.
strive for things or want to accomplish
Because
things.
he
and
did.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I don't know. I guess I found that like admirable or just like because it's like I don't know. I don't necessarily think that I was like that kid where it's like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be something and like come on guys. But it's like I kind of resonate with that a little bit. Just like don't you want to do something other than like work a 40-hour a week job and work a 9 to 5? Like don't you want to create stuff? Don't you want to like enjoy like making something with other people? Like I definitely like resonated with that and like yeah.
maybe honestly at one point I kind of thought he was like maybe trying to kill Bill because he gave him a surge, which is like
Oh,
a
yeah.
discontinued pop because it was like so crazy.
I thought that was funny.
No, that was
Brand
Mike
new
that
one
gave
from
it to
Coke.
him.
Yeah, Mike gave it to him.
Mike, yeah, brand new soda from Coca-Cola.
Surge.
It's called Surge.
He's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
The most alive Bill's ever been.
He like gets up
Yeah.
and starts doing like somersaults and like
Yeah,
crying and
he
shit.
just Willy Wonka is just like after
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
cane gets stuck in the crack.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back. It's interesting that you use the word exploitative for that because I was gonna bring that up when I was mentioning the thing about like, oh, are they making fun of Coven or not or whatever? Because I was looking up after because I usually do this with I guess with most movies I watch, not just I was gonna say just for these ones, but I do it with most movies I watch where like I'll I'll just go on like the Wikipedia or something and just see like, oh, what was the critical reception, because I have to know that I have the correct opinion on every movie. But and then like I go on Letterboxd and check reviews and stuff, and I guess like the people who like don't like it, or like criticism that's been put against American Movie, not against Mark, but is that the documentary itself is exploitative of the subjects, and that's where I first read that like, oh, you're supposed to like mock and laugh at their bad movie and how bad they are at filmmaking. And I guess that's why I brought that up, because like I agree with you guys. Like I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's like, I think if you watch this movie and all you get out of it is look at these weird people and laugh at them try to make a movie that's really bad, it's like you're not getting the whole picture.
Yeah,
you have a very like narrow.
That's the viewer
view.
that's like injecting that, because like really if like I don't remember the sequence exactly, but like in the movie we see him like behind the scenes doing certain shots, and then really the end part where they show scenes from Coven, it's like. Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, that just reminded me that it sounds like COVID too, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly thought
they said COVID.
I told Kalia today. I was like, oh, I got COVID. Like,
yeah,
I didn't mean to say it like that. And then she like looked at me for a second. I was like, oh, I realize what that sounds like.
But anyways, I think that the sequence that they showed from the short, they're pretty much, it lines up pretty close to like what they show behind the scenes of. Like they show the scarecrow thing. They showed him setting that up. They show the head thing.
What you do in a documentary.
It's like, what do people want to see? They want to see the shots, like they want to see it, and like they didn't take like embarrassing looking shots besides maybe the one where his head cuts out of frame, but like you said, the scarecrow shot, it looks good. Like I would say fairly objectively it looks cool. So like if they're trying to make a mockery out of it, they're gonna like cherry pick the more embarrassing shots, and I don't think they did that. I think they just said, okay, what was the first thing? The scarecrow. Okay, let's get those.
Yeah,
and even their earlier stuff. What was the scarier? Like those movies, like they were showing clips from that.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh wow, like some of these effects that they're doing like actually kind of look good.
Yeah.
You have to consider, like, for like a home movie made in the 80s, they look good. Yeah, and their effects especially. I was like, that's fucking amazing. That like back then, before you had the internet to give you a tutorial on how to do like blood and gore effects, you know. Yeah. They did pretty good.
And they didn't even have DMX to heighten the drama. Like that was our crutch that we had. So
yeah.
They didn't even have If Chins Could Kill, so we could read the recipe for fake blood and then use that for everything.
Yeah. I had two ties to another, like two separate thoughts tied to another movie that we.
Real quick, I think the only time the movie did, I do think very, very in a very little way, the movie kind of did lean into like, look how crazy and like weird this guy is by including like, which I don't know, I guess maybe it was just for humor, but when like all of the interviews with his friends are just like, oh yeah, I figured he'd just be a serial killer, or like he'd all of his friends are just like, I thought he would have murdered someone if he didn't get a job, like like that kind of stuff.
At the very beginning, they're like interviewing his family, and like one of the first things one of his brothers says is like he should just go work in a factory. Like, he's not gonna make it. Like he's just really like, I think I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. I don't have. Oh, he said he's best suited for work in a factory, and I was like, oh,
and
damn.
I don't think that's like the documentary, like
no
per se, like making fun of him or like trying to get you to make fun of him, but I think it's like providing context for like this. I guess again in Wisconsin, larger than life type person.
Exactly, because if they really wanted to like. They would interview other people like in the area and be like, "Hey, what do you think of this guy?" To try and get something that's like, "Oh yeah." I mean, they did get people to say thought he would have been a serial killer or whatever, but like for the most part, the people that they interview are like, they speak positively of him. So
Yeah.
it sets it up as like, this is a guy to feel positive about. So.
Yeah. I was gonna say I tied it to two separate moments back to another movie we watched, because when they were showing like them doing auditions, I think for Northwestern, it was a bunch of people like they were all like yelling at each other. I got big Ben and Arthur vibes from that for Northwestern.
Yeah,
just like
kinda.
that, like shouting, arguing, and like that's I don't know. And then
I
the
got
other
myself,
other thing was just
a Milwaukee's Miller High Life.
oh
for
nice.
the,
And then the other thing was just that one of Mark's brothers, I forget their names, really reminded me of Victor from Ben and Arthur.
It was the one who said that his brother was best suited for work in the factory. Because I thought the same thing.
You did?
I thought the same
Cool.
thing. Yeah,
I'm glad
he
we
had
did
longer hair than Victor.
Victor
but,
vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, Victor vibes.
This episode's Victor vibes goes to Alex.
Okay. I got a little game, a little thought experiment.
Okay.
Okay,
It's,
are you
it's
gonna?
a normal
are
thing.
you gonna?
I didn't.
Is this like you're gonna read a line that Mike said and then
No.
make up one, and we have to pick which one Mike actually said?
No. No. Okay, we're having too many digs at that stuff.
Yeah.
No,
always
it's not.
do.
It's a fuck, marry, kill, Mike, Mark, Bill.
Okay, who wants
For
to go
me,
first?
it's easy. I have
Yeah,
reasons
it's
for all
easy.
of them, and none of them are because they don't fit any other. Like, I think they all fit. For me, fuck my fuck Mark.
Fuck.
I had their names backwards. Fuck Mark, because I think the other guys would just kind of lie there, and it would be really. I think he's got something in him. I think he'd be the most interesting. Obviously marry Mike, because why the fuck would you not? He's super chill. And I would kill Bill because I think he would be the one who would want me to do that.
Just to put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
he would sign up for that. So.
Well, because also if you fucked Bill, you'd probably kill him in the process.
You'd kill him.
So.
That's true. Yeah.
That or marry, yeah.
I would say
No, you just
Kill
gotta
Bill.
fill him up with
Marry-
Surge first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, have him shotgun at the reception.
wait.
Go.
I was gonna say kill
Go.
Bill, marry Mark, and then bang. Because also when you marry the whole point of fuck, marry, kill is like when you marry somebody, you're still fucking them. So
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
That's true. I just think I would have a better life spent with Mike.
Okay, there's
And he could play me as acoustic guitar.
he
when
could
I'm in
play
bed
you
every night.
Metallica.
there's
you stole that Sabbath song.
another route you guys aren't really considering is that Bill's very old and he seems to have a lot of money.
Oh shit!
Fuck. Okay.
Oh, so marry Bill.
So
Marry
who's exploiting
Bill.
Bill
Yeah.
now?
Yeah,
Who's
You're not
thinking about
exploiting him.
exploit-
I'm not saying you don't love him. I'm just saying he's got money.
Get your
and then
bag.
when he dies,
I think-
there's Northwestern. You can make like 4 of them.
I think you're cutting yourself a lot more slack than we were, Mark, before.
I wouldn't say that. I would say, I don't know. You definitely marry Mike because Mike, he's pretty, what would you, like, he's very, like, he just goes with the flow. I could tell him, I could be like, hey, Mike, go do the dishes. And he'd be like, okay. And then he'd
Okay,
go to do the dishes. He'd just do whatever the fuck I told him to do. He's pretty good at guitar, so that's a plus. He's also pretty lucky because he wins like scratch offs like a couple of times throughout the course. He's also very like self-improvement focused because while he continues to do scratch offs, he also goes to like some kind of like Gamblers Anonymous thing to like fight the addiction. So he's also he's like anti-drug, like passionately. He was addictive. No, he says that what he says.
Because he almost died.
Scratchers are better
Yeah.
than drugs.
My
and
brain
alcohol because
flatlined.
they don't kill you. Or I don't know. He does
Yeah.
like this real like his only. It's like
Yeah.
his monologue.
He's like-
It's like 2 minutes long, and it's just like scratchers are better than drugs because drugs.
Yeah,
can kill
because you
you.
sometimes basically gambling is better than drugs or alcohol because sometimes you win with gambling.
Yeah.
But with drugs and alcohol, you always
You never.
lose.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's so like corny. It's like I feel like
It's like
some
someone.
marketing
his-
dude. That's where like the smoking.
That's probably-
shit came from.
Regurgitated straight from the
Yeah.
Gamblers Anonymous or whatever.
Or no, I was just gonna say he has like the politics of someone who saw like went to go play like Ms. Pac-Man in an arcade and like saw the only losers take drugs like little blurb before the game started up. He's like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pretty much in Coven, I should say, he pretty much just like plays himself too. There's like, because the plot of Coven is basically like Mark's character is the main character and he's like an alcoholic, and his friends like sign him up for like an AA meeting, and then it's like the AA meeting is secretly a coven of witches.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they're all supposed to be, because like the first time you see the group, it's like where it's like normal or whatever. It's just like all of them like sharing their own stories, and it just like cuts between each of them sharing their own stories, and it like repeatedly it'll like intersperse with like going back to Mike, and he's just like, oh yeah, I started drinking when I was 13 years old and it's really bad for you, and blah blah blah, and then it would cut to someone else really passionately being like, and I just need to turn my life around, blah blah blah, and then it would cut back to Mike and he's like, and then I guess I just kept drinking into high school, you know, and so is that, I feel like it's supposed to be like a little comedic, at least with his character, but
We're
Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
vodka.
yeah, vodka, yeah, vodka.
Yeah, I think shit, I forgot what you just said, but I had something to go off of that. The thing about when they were doing the ADR, which was funny because they weren't watching the video while they were doing it, so it was just like the tempo of it was different than the original. But there's like the part where they're doing screams, like screaming really like they're in hell. Mike's
Yeah.
was by far
Yeah.
the best.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
incredible.
yeah.
It was shocking.
And
how
then
good
when
it
he's
was.
done, he just goes,
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that was pretty sick.
It turns to Mark, and Mark's like, "That was." He says something like, "That was life changing, man," or "That
Say
was
wicked. They say it was wicked.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
says
maybe
something,
that, yeah.
and then like Mike's, it goes back to Mike, and he's just like, just laughing. And,
About the ADR though, that was like another note. Is like, I thought it was so funny that like Mark talked to his kids like adults.
oh yeah,
like-
yeah.
So she's like, "What's ADR?" And he's like, "It's what do you say? Like after dialogue replacement." And they're like, "What's after?" He's like, but just like he uses like these technical film terms to like his
Yeah.
children that have like no idea what any of it means, but just like, because like I also like that's kind of how I talk to kids if I ever talk to kids. Like I'm not good at like the did you like I don't do the baby talk. I'll just if I
Yeah,
see a
you
kid,
just
I'm just
make 'em-
like.
you just make them
Yeah,
feel like
I'm the same way.
assholes. You don't
Like
get
I'm
it,
not
you
I'm not
dumb
going to
sh-
use like language that you don't understand, but I'm not going to like
Yeah.
you know
Baby
I'll tell you
No.
like, hey, how's it going? What's up?
Yeah.
Like how's it going,
Yeah,
little
It's
man?
Dr. Funk PhD.
I'm exactly the
English.
same. And there's that part actually when he's talking to her, he's like, he like kind of explains it, and then he's like, "Do you understand that?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, what part don't you understand?"
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of like maybe if he put that on Twitter, he'd maybe get bean dadded. But like.
Oh.
He also is like he's not just like I'm gonna hand you okay, you don't get it, fine, forget it, whatever.
Yeah,
He's like I'm
Thank you.
gonna tell you what's what, like I'm gonna help you figure it out. So
yeah.
I think that's also admirable.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So Nick, who would you fuck, marry, kill?
Actually, same as yours.
Hell yeah.
I'd put Bill out of his misery. Mike is a freak. Or Mark is like a guaranteed a freak in the
Freak
set.
in the sheets. Yeah.
And then I play guitar. Mike plays guitar. We could write some tasty riffs.
Yeah.
You both have mustaches.
We both have mustaches.
Yeah.
I like how the movie cover looks like the Super Mario Brothers movie as well. Just
Wait, so I'm the only one who would marry Mark?
Yeah, Mark is too
I-
high
as
strung,
much
and
as,
plus
like-
he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think Mark would be a
Sounds good.
good friend. I think Mark would be a good friend to have. I think Mike would be a better companion.
He's also got kind of a crazy baby mama and 3 kids from a previous relationship. No,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't,
true.
I don't
Mike's
want,
got no
I don't want to
baggage.
deal with that. Like,
Yeah, but then you don't have to
Except-
adopt or anything. You
the
already
only-
got kids if you want kids.
Another thing with Bill,
Well,
this
what if you
could
don't want
maybe
kids?
throw a wrench in it. You know Bill's going out like soonish, anyways. Maybe you fuck him just to give him that last hurrah. You said maybe it would kill him, but
Okay,
I mean,
that's
how many
that's send him
movies and
into the
TV
afterlife.
shows say like I want to die while having sex or something? Like
Yeah.
that's the way to go.
So you're going.
Also,
you're going
he's
the
been around for
altruistic
so
route.
long that he's got to have experience.
Yeah, he's tried some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he was around for Woodstock.
Yeah.
just just give Bill some sloppy top to a permanent end.
I meant to mention too about Coven. Mike's music is pretty good too. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's got a really like slappy. Like, there's this part where, it's the scene where that they show in the movie where they're like dragging Mark through like the water, like the swamp.
Yeah.
There's like the people in the hoods, and it's got
Another
this really
cool shot. Another
Yeah.
pretty cool shot.
It looked cool, and the music there was really like, it kind of it reminded me a lot. There's a song or like from another movie that I just can't think of, but like really rapid horns and like thumping like drums and
Yeah.
just I wasn't expecting it because like all of his stuff in the movie is just like simple in American movie is just like simple acoustic stuff, but like it's kind of like all over the place, the music in Coven. It's
Well, it's like
kinda neat.
I looked up I looked him up on Wikipedia and like he's actually like he's done music before. Like he's done it in like a professional
cool.
setting. Like he's a competent guitar player. Like he's good.
Especially when back then, he wasn't just using GarageBand and just like plugging in, like he actually had to like play shit and record it himself.
That the ADR and the sound discussion, fuck me, marry Bill and kill Mark. No. There's a scene where he's getting ADR with his mom. And he's like complaining. They're like, "How far out is this place?" And they're walking through the snow and stuff. And they get out there, and he's like, "There's no fucking birds out here." Like they have to he walked all the way out there. Well, I'm gonna have to go out to fucking Duncan Park and do it out there. There's no fucking birds here. I knew it, man.
Yeah, that made me think too of I feel like I've been in that exact situation where they're shooting in the driveway and his mom's like, he's like, "No, you can't leave yet." And she's like, "I need to go shopping." And he's like, "Okay, just stay there for a few more minutes." I feel like I've had that exact same conversation with like mom and dad or like some extent.
I thought he wanted her in one of the suits.
That's I thought she was supposed to
maybe
be
that
also
was
one of the Coven members.
I mean, yeah, that might have been it. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
I don't know. For some reason, that gave me like Ungrateful Dead flashbacks when we were out in like your backyard filming, and like, man, if any of that B-roll still exists or like the raw footage, I want to go back and just see hear if you can hear off in the distance just TJ.
Yeah, 90%, and it would always happen. Like we'd be setting up a shot or something,
crucial moment,
and it would be hit record, and it would just start going. You'd be like, "This is the take." I say ya! Or whoever, just a screeching like. Is that necessary?
Yeah. Yeah,
But I
don't
think
know,
I think
as far
that's
as-
so foundational in like making a movie in like in your hometown. That kind of like everything, all of the trials that he went through to get the movie done. I'm like, yes, I on a much smaller scale. Yes, I feel this. Like at the end when they're like, also the fact that they're like hand cutting it is like
Yeah.
insane to me.
That was really neat to see.
Because it's like they lost a couple frames and they're just like, what are we gonna do with this? Like they're freaking out. But it's like, yeah, I guess I keep coming back to like the Ungrateful Dead, and yeah, it's like it's like this.
Oh yeah.
What's this over
Two
here?
frames, man.
The one guy's like, it's gonna be he's like, it's gonna be done in an hour, so I'm gonna start drinking.
Yeah.
But as you know, Ungrateful Dead, like one of our cameras broke, so we had to switch over to another camera, and we had to like instead of just uploading the files to the computer, we had to convert them from a tape to like a DVD, and then convert that from DVD, and like all that stuff. Like I was just like, yeah. I kind of know. I feel that. I get it.
You can't shooting at Trent's like parents' cabin house at their cabin where it was like, you can shoot here, but you can't do like the blood stuff in here. Wasn't that one of the things? It's like you can only do like certain things in certain areas, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I get it. If that was my house, I'd also probably feel the same way. But yeah,
I remember really specifically that because we would always like lay down like tarp or something to like cover, because like we did the blood effects. But there was one bit. It's where Nick, you stab Mitch in the gut with the fire poker, and then you pull it out and you stab him in the head, or like you like swing it into the side of his head, and then like I was on the other side and I like went like I think with like a spoon, and a little bit of it got on like the banister and like couldn't quite wipe it off, and I remember hearing about that from Trent's dad, but that was like the only bit that we got.
Wow.
I thought the floor was like stained red after that. Like it was definitely sticky to walk through. We put down stuff, but it only was able to help to a certain degree.
But the stickiness wasn't from the blood.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should do that as a dud.
Throw the Ungrateful Dead in the cup.
Yeah.
We've
Ungrateful
discussed
Dud.
it. It has copyrighted music in it. We'd have to.
Well, I was gonna say
we could still do it, but
I mean,
yeah,
instead
we
of
want to do like a
watch
screening or something like that. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
We just have to work on the
kinks.
I don't know. Yeah. I thought there was something.
I have another note. When he goes into the bank, I don't know if you caught it, TJ. Mark has on a full frontal, fully loaded ass cheek hat, like the most ass cheek hat I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
It's like it is so tall. It's like borderline a KKK hood. Like it's so fucking tall. It's green too, so it was probably like a Packers one, but it was like like so tall.
Oh yeah, it was funny how like at the beginning of the movie he's like, oh yeah, when I need to focus I just go to the airport and sit in my car, because then I'm not distracted by food or anything.
Where am I gonna go? Where am I gonna go?
It's just funny, like he's in the middle of an airport, just parked, like writing and stuff.
Distraction-free environment.
Yeah, it made me think too, since we were going back to Ungrateful Dead, that like man, if only I had the guts to like pull $3,000 out of one of my relatives to like fund that or Avengers or something.
I mean,
Coven level.
I think the $3,000 was just for like the VHS tapes, right? And like the screening.
Oh, was
stuff
it
of
really?
That's what it sounded like.
I mean,
but
there's some.
Maybe not. He had to buy actual film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. They rented, or like I don't know. They could have just done it all on just asking permission too. But there's some scenes in Coven where it's like I mean, unless they spent a lot of money building sets, they like shot on like there's a part where he's like in a hospital, and yeah, they could have just got permission, but
probably
there's some
did.
What?
Just got permission, just like that's his personality, and it was also a different time, so it was like.
Yeah.
Like, we got kicked out of a Wendy's one time. We weren't even showing anything of the Wendy's, and we got kicked out of Wendy's for, like...
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But, yeah, back then, it's... Yeah. He probably just got permission.
Well, still. I wouldn't have had to spend $3,000 on tapes. Could have used it on...
Yeah. I don't know what... That's, like, blood? Such a weird budget number. Like, I don't even know, like, what we could, like, use that for.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's not... I mean, we could buy, like, a better camera or, like, audio equipment, and, like, that's it. It's just, like... It's not going to do much nowadays, at least.
Yeah.
Well, especially
Snacks
for Avengers,
for,
like, the whole point of it is the cheapness.
Yeah.
Too, so...
I guess I was thinking more Ungrateful Dead, because... we only really did zombie makeup on Mitch, and I actually really like how the zombie makeup looks on him.
And
I wish we had done.
We couldn't get it again. Like, we got it that one night, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we couldn't recapture that.
Yeah, and I wish we had done more of that. So I guess I'm just thinking strictly like effects, because I had like, for instance, there was one like like intestines, like pulling intestines out. I knew like how to do it, but I was like, I don't want to spend like $50 on that.
We could have had,
I have to
like,
save money for Steak and Shake every other week.
We could have had like real ammo for at the end when Andy and I are just like shooting, just like shooting real bullets.
Yeah. Could have used it so we could play it on Twitch. We could have given Mike Shank $3,000 to score it for us.
Oh my god.
Well, no, we'd have to save $100 of the budget for VJ Emmy to do it.
Oh
VJ
track
Emmy.
over it.
Yeah. You know that like when you and Andy run up and they're shooting him, you'd be like, "Commando!"
Yeah. Action packed.
Yeah.
The movie you are watching is Ungrateful Dead.
Yeah.
Well, look at us. That was like just over an hour.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Nailed
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't know how we got through that so fast, because like I do feel like we said a lot for like what it is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we referenced a lot. We basically, I kind of noticed that too. Like our show does kind of turn like it. We start and TJ does like a little brief synopsis, and then it's just like, I like this part, and we do a quote, and then they're like, yeah, that was funny, and like, but that's perfect for this movie.
Yeah.
But
it really is.
I mean, because it's just a quote factory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an easy one to talk about. Like, there's not much to it, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, Isaiah, do you want to give the
kick
first
this off.
rating? We do 1 out of 10.
Is it like just how much I liked it?
Whatever you want. Just do
I mean,
you feel.
How I have always done movies is like I let like
Okay, we're gonna get to 2 hours now.
yeah right. Like I'll just say it's primarily just like how much did you enjoy it?
Yeah, just
but
kind of
like
like your
for me
instinct.
it's like
yeah,
instinct. Because like for me it's like I'm just saying that like it is primarily just how much I enjoyed it, but also like sometimes if there's some like technical issues or I think that like it was shot badly, like that's gonna affect how much I liked it. So in a way it is kind of technical, but it all comes down to how much I enjoyed it. And speaking of, that was one thing I did want to mention. The one thing that did bug me with the movie, which otherwise I thought was pretty competent, there was like bits where they would fade to black in the middle of sentences, and I did not know why. Did you guys notice that?
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't really.
A few
I didn't
times.
notice it a ton, but a couple of times.
It was just a few times, but
It really
bugged me, and I
felt
was
like
hey,
an amateur documentary.
Yeah.
Like the production
Yeah.
of the
Was it his
actual
first?
documentary was pretty. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It seemed like they were maybe doing multiple at the same time because like it took. They weren't there like for 3 years straight. They'd come and visit and shoot some stuff, and then they'd leave and then come back and yeah.
Because I looked up the director and like this is the guy that did like the Fire Festival documentary from like a couple years ago. Yeah, Chris Smith.
Interesting. Oh,
The Netflix one, not the Hulu one.
right. Okay. Oh, interesting.
He did a
was
he's
the
done a
better
couple like Netflix documentary specials.
And actually, sort of speaking of, I looked up the only other Mark has done one other movie, and it was a documentary about like a UFO festival in Wisconsin.
Oh.
Yeah, he started a couple, and he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're all
Oh.
in the same.
yeah,
Yeah, he has like 3 that are in production that are from
yeah.
like 2004.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say though, I sent a link in like the Discord, but yeah, Mark is in a couple episodes of Joe Pera Talks with You, which have you
He's in
seen
a
any of
lot
that, Travis?
stuff. No.
Oh, Joe Pera, he's like a comedian, but he's like, it's hard to tell if he's like 25 or 52. Like,
Yeah.
he kind of has like this like old man demeanor, but it's like very charming, but it's like very like Northern Michigan. Connor O'Malley's in it, like a bunch of people are in it.
Oh shit.
But I was looking up like Mark's IMDb, and I was like, Joe Pera Talks with You. And then I looked at, like, he's just like sitting down in one of the scenes. His character's name is Gordy, apparently. But but I felt like that was like the perfect show for him because like that whole show is just like full of eccentric Midwestern people.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of the show is that it's shot and set in Marquette. And
Yeah.
you see like if you know the area, you see a lot of spots. No, I know we got. Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't.
I
I
was gonna
didn't
go
know
back
if
to
he's. I didn't know if he had said his number or not. I didn't know if.
This is how the ratings usually go, where we're like, okay, what do you got? And then we're like, oh wait, 5 other things. Okay, now Isaiah,
Go.
give it a rating.
Just say a number and shut up.
Yeah.
I would give it like an 8.5.
Moose is gonna be mad.
Why? Because I used.
He doesn't like increments.
He's a math nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll give
no,
it.
no.
No, I'll say 9.
8.5.
I'll say a 9
No,
because it's
say
closer
8.5.
to a 9.
No. On this show.
Oh, it's leaning closer to a 9.
Yeah, we don't just go with whatever Moose says. We fight against the oppression of Moose.
Okay.
So if you want an 8.5, you say 8.5.
Okay, I'll say 8.5 because you round up to 9.
Yeah,
So it is
there you
closer to a 9 than a 8 to me. But
Okay.
8.5, I think it hit
Except
home
8.5
more for
isn't
me
closer
too.
It's just a math rule that you round up at 5, but
That's what yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think I liked it a lot because it was like I related to it in a lot of ways, like just like making movies and stuff. So it honestly felt like this was us in like a different reality or something. So
Yeah.
it was like,
The different reality of Wisconsin.
yeah.
yeah, if we were born in Wisconsin.
Yeah. But it was like when it ended, I was like, I was like, oh, I want to see more. So yeah, I don't think I would recommend it to other people just because they might not feel the same way. I might, but I think I just really liked it because of our
'Cause of
history.
COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah, I'll go next. I think I'm about a solid. Oh God, I think I'm
Doesn't
about a
sound so
solid
solid.
8. I know. I want to say I'm gonna say 8. Kind of like what Isaiah said. The subject matter felt very, very like personal to me, and like making movies and kind of growing up in a small town and wanting more and wanting to do more and like these big dreams. And I thought all of the people were like so funny and interesting and like larger than life. And then like I at the end when they were showing clips of the premiere and they were actually showing clips of Coven, and to see that the movie actually
What?
ended up looking like
Yeah,
pretty
what?
good. What's that?
Clips of what?
Clips of
Coven.
what?
At the end of the documentary, they were showing like
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, what's that?
Coven. I'm sorry. You guys are gaslighting me into saying the word wrong. I was doing so good throughout the whole episode too. I was saying Coven the whole time. When they were showing clips of Coven, I got legit goosebumps like watching like yeah, it turned out like pretty good, and like he's a competent director. And yeah, the whole story of it was fascinating, and I want to watch Coven now. I want to see like how it turned out.
I liked it. It was funny. Like almost the whole way through, it was funny. It wasn't super heartfelt to me. It just because I don't know that like his whole family seemed to kind of hate each other. Besides like
Yeah,
like him and Uncle Bill, but I mean there was some stuff like with Mike where there's a part where Mike comes in and he's like, yeah, I was having a crappy day, and Mike comes in and he cheers me up with his smile, and they do seem to have like a good relationship. But like but I don't know, it didn't have a huge like heartfelt ending to me, but I still really liked it, and I would maybe watch it again, but I think I'd probably just watch like a YouTube compilation of just like Mike laughing or something. Like that's like, yeah, just like best quotes from American movie. And I guess like I said before too, I think the subjects carry the entire thing. I feel like it
For
really
sure.
feels
Yeah.
like the director, whoever captured it, they just set a camera up and they hit record, and then they just basically edited it like it I mean, it all happens in a certain order, so you just throw it on the timeline, and it just kind of falls into place. So the number that was kind of stuck in my head before was 7. I think,
Wow.
but I don't do whole numbers. I do like it gotta go in between. But talking about it and you guys saying like there is like that nostalgia and like that connection with the movie making thing. So I'm actually gonna go. I was gonna go 7.5, but I think I'm pushing. Like I want to skew it a little bit closer to 8, so I'm gonna say 7.75.
Okay.
okay.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say 7.51 or something, because then it technically.
You got a Price is Right rules.
7.25 is my actual. I'm gonna go with that now. You
I
just
actually
knocked off an
thought-
8th.
I actually thought, Travis, you were gonna give it like a 9 or 10.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think like
No music.
We
No
all-
Ryan Gosling. No.
Oh, okay.
we
On
all
the La
seem
La
to
Land scale.
feel. I mean, I feel pretty similar. I was gonna piggyback off of something that you said, then I forgot. About like it's just like the subject matter is good, but like, yeah. So I'm thinking like some of my favorite documentaries. It's got to have like interesting story / subject matter, but also like the documentary. Like for this to get like a higher rating for me, it would the documentary itself would have to be like, and I don't think I would rate Feels Good Man higher than this. I think I like enjoyed this more overall. The Feels Good Man, part of the reason I liked it so much was because of the production and of the editing. It was a really, really well made documentary. And then there's at least one more that I have in the cup that I think hits both of those marks. This one doesn't on the filmmaking aspect as much, but regardless, I'm giving it an 8 as well. Yeah, since we like, I didn't even like think until you guys said it in the ratings bit about like how like, oh, it's so like relatable in a way. It makes me wish that we had Moose here even more. Somebody who like he's done videos, like he's done like some like YouTube videos. He's done theater.
I see
but,
what
like,
you're saying.
Maybe he'd have a little. I just wonder if he'd, somebody who
An outsider.
hasn't like tried to make a movie on their own and stuff like. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
although I don't know, Kalia hasn't. I mean, I guess she's helped on some of ours, but
Yeah, she has.
and she really liked it too.
She was there for like all of Terminal.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah, that's
has
right.
been. Yeah,
I
she
forgot how
hasn't
good
went
Terminal
through as
is.
much. Yeah, she hasn't went through as much like strife, like
Yeah,
getting
Terminal
kicked
was
out of
like,
Wendy's or like
yeah, that was pretty
getting eaten alive by mosquitoes.
The
shooting
worst,
end of
still the
Ungrateful
worst
Dead.
mosquitoes I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Was the end of Ungrateful
Was when we were out in that field trying to get those
Yeah.
shots, and
Dead?
like,
I don't know why it was so bad. Oh my god, it was.
you take
where
a step,
Sarah was filled in.
I think
Yeah.
that you would take one step in the tall grass, and it would just like a plume of mosquitoes
Yeah.
would come up.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
so
that
bad.
was terrible.
You always had to watch out for Roy because he was out there sunbathing in the tall grass.
In the tall grass, yeah. Also, it was. I remember that day being particularly hot. Like that was one of the sweatiest I've ever been
Yep.
to.
Yep.
That was that's another one of the trials and tribulations you have is like anytime you're filming in the summer, it's the hottest, most humid day ever. And anytime you film in the winter, it's the coldest and windiest.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's a rule
I
of
think-
thumb.
I think even in the Ungrateful Dead, when we were in that scene, because like we were trying to shoot around us constantly, like swatting and moving, so it's like you had a very very short window to try to get like the scene. And I think it even made it into the final cut of the Ungrateful Dead. There's like a scene where like right as like the scene starts, you see Sarah like swat away at like her leg
Yeah.
or her back or something. It's like like we couldn't avoid it.
That's right.
Yeah, and then like on the final like showdown where there's like all the zombies and that was something that I was gonna say that you could spend more money on is get more extras because I think I get killed 3 times in that montage.
Oh yeah, and we like don't
But-
even hide it.
Yeah. Were you one of the zombies in the wheelchair, or was that Evan?
I think it was Isaiah. Isaiah was the wheelchair zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Evan was
no.
pushing it. Evan was the one
Evan was
pushing it.
Yeah, Evan was
Evan was
pushing
push-
it. Yeah,
What?
but that day was
That's
like
such a good bit. That's such a good
raining
bit.
and
Like,
cold and windy.
Crescent Moon kicks him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for the movie? If I am not mistaken.
Yeah, Fatty Ghost,
week is the-
please.
Oh,
Huh?
The Fatty Ghost to reveal the pick through.
Oh, okay.
So we got one more normal one, and then is it? Well, you're gonna be gone. Well,
No, I think
No, next
I
week
was
is-
I was trying to check my calendar, but I couldn't. No, I think next week is the bad one.
Is a bad,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
It is. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So,
Here we
Give
go.
me viruses. He's charging his Juul in my fucking computer. There's seems like that's so like I don't know like
Let me stick it in that
Un-
USB CBD,
uncivilized.
bro.
it's like that's like what cavemen did. They just stuck their
it's a
fucking
boulder. Yeah.
Juul pods in their
What's that?
computers.
Did you draw it?
I can't do that one yet. I need.
I don't like
I'd
this
have to-
editorializing of the poll.
No, I literally can't until I get something from Dagan. It's hard to explain. It's basically, I don't want to go too into it, but I can't. Like,
I
there'd be no way for you
guarantee
guys
he's
to watch.
pulling movie. He's over there every time before he pulls. There's always this like we're kind of like filling the dead air while he gets the cup and pulls a name out, and we get lost in our own little conversation. He's over there like
No,
The whole time.
That's why I hesitated, because I really want to do that movie, but I don't have the only other way to do it is for you guys to come over to my house and we watch it, because we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to stream it to you guys when we watch it, basically, because
Okay.
it's not available online, but I really want to do it. Anyways, the one we're actually doing, which is on YouTube, I think, is called Megan is Missing, from 2011, directed by Michael Goy.
Oh, is this
What?
what I think it is?
It's it looks like, according to my chart, it is a YouTube or Amazon rental. And yeah, that's the next one.
This is not. I know a little bit about this movie. It's not a happy one. It is not a happy one at all.
No, it's not. I guess I don't really have anything else to say about it. But it's
this looks like it's a bad movie.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But hey, that's why we got the cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's it's just a matter of time before we I think we've gotten lucky so far with.
You can't redeem the cup now. The cup is sullied now with your editorializing of it. The cup is no longer the holy grail.
You understand that
dirtied.
it's called the bad cup for a reason, right? Like
no, but I'm saying you're picking movies out and then putting them back in. You've sullied the bad cup. Even you've sullied all the cups.
Again, I really want to.
Your unpure hands. Your unpure hands have reached into our cup, our community cup.
Is this how you wanted to end up? Your grandson drinking you out of a cup.
Here, what I'll do and what I meant to do, I'm just gonna take that one out of the cup until I get the means to like play it or whatever.
Here we go again.
He's taking 4 other ones out.
Yeah. I didn't pick that one.
Actually, we're doing all of these movies that I'm pulling right now. Damn, I'm so bummed.
It's weird how he never shows the cup either, because he's probably just like.
Well, I'm not picking another movie. We're still doing Megan is Missing. I'm just trying to find that one, so that doesn't happen again.
All right. Well, let's do that off air.
Yeah, let's wrap up the old pod.
All right. Well, as always, I've been Travis, aka the Super General. As always.
You fucked up the order.
I know. I'm just trying to kick it off because you got your head halfway up Chewbacca's ass right now.
I'm ready to progress. You guys are just going on about me cheating or whatever, and I'm just kind of doing both at the same time. But anyways,
this has been movie out of the cup 80%.
This has been There Will Be Duds, and I've been your co-host J Spot Jack Cheese. And with me, as always,
I'm Dr. Funk on Twitch.
I am the Super General, as always.
And I'm Isaiah.
And remember, you can. We're now a podcast, so you can go to your favorite podcast place and follow us. Listen to us in audio form there, and vice versa. If you're listening to us as a podcast, we stream this on Twitch every Friday at 7 p.m.
Yes, sir.
And also, I'd like to add, please don't do drugs. If you need to do anything, do scratchers.
Just get scratch offs.
It's my parting message.
You should rename the podcast to There Will Be Duds if TJ says so.